Hi guys, what is up? This is Team Duelist Alliance 671. Sorry for the wait, but finally have ready for you guys my updated deck profile for the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now, for those who have been subscribed to my channel for a long time, thank you for your um, patronage. I truly do appreciate it. You might have saw that I've updated a Blue Eyes deck profile before while in my car. I kind of felt that one was at a bad time and rather inconsistent, so I decided to make a more updated build for the newer format. And hopefully, with the card choices I made for this one, I hope to make you guys proud and share some new ideas. So, without further ado, let's get started with the deck profile. Also, note that for the I hate when the camera does that. There you go, it's focused. Also, for the deck profiles I'll be hosting, I'm gonna be ensuring that the deck profiles I give to you guys are complete. I know I mentioned in the my previous one, the Paleo Toads, is that I try to mention that I don't have trap tricks or trap trick. I try to make that very clear, but if there are some people that feel that I really need to I really need to run that, like they have a strong recommendation that I run that, then I understand. I've been investing in it, but that would mean from now on when I do deck profiles, I'll ensure that they're complete so I give to you guys satisfying builds. Okay, so let's get started. Sorry for the elaboration. It is pretty late right now, so I'm kind of doing this to help me sleep. Yeah. So we're gonna run 3 copies of the Blue Eyes White Dragons. These are my copies from the structure deck, the original one, Saga the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And yes, one of them is gold rare. Ooh, sorry the glare. That is gold. Eesh. Yep, so 3 copies of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And then our alternative, no pun intended, the Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. For this one, I only run 2. You'd be surprised. I believe in the rule of 2. When one's not enough and 3's too many. Often you don't want to draw into too many multiples of Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon when you can only summon one at a time. True is trade fodder and you could fuse it from the graveyard using Dragon's Merit, but it's just my preference. I'd rather just summon them when I need it. Plus, Blue Eyes White Dragon by himself is pretty easy to search for, and so is this one. I feel 2 is the magic number, rule of 2. And then, for the rest of the Blue Eyes monsters, we run the 1 Dragon Spirit of White. Just 1. For this build, they don't normally run this, but I like it for the versatility, especially with Ultrageist and decks that run back row. This is actually a pretty formidable card for them to stop. And it could dodge like spell speed 2 effects that try to negate it, so that's kind of cool. By simply tributing it while your opponent controls a monster, and then you can special summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand. I thought that's pretty neat. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it could dodge as long as the opponent has monsters, basically. Okay. And then for the last of the level 8s, we run the Chaos Dragon Levianeer. Again, not a card that you run in the fusion variant, but I like him because he special summon a level 8 from the graveyard, and he sets up for extra deck options in here if we have to go first, like Titanic, or another card that I'll be showcasing once we get to the extra deck. But for now, let's go ahead and continue with Whitestone of Ancients. Just 1. I feel that 1 is all you really need. You can always send it to the graveyard, you can synchro summon it, you can link summon with him, and he's a good target for... And Dragon Spirit's a good target for him, so you can summon him during the end phase of your opponent's turn if you could pull that off somehow and then banish the back row. They can't chain it. I find that really cool. Plus you could just bust out a Blue Eyes White Dragon, or return 1 to your hand. And it's good versatility. Speaking of versatility, we run 2 copies of Whitestone of Legends. I almost fooled myself there. Of course, mandatory effect, search for the Blue Eyes White Dragon when it's sent to the graveyard in any way. And he's a tuner. Very interesting card. It's mandatory effects, so there's a lot of stuff you can do with that. I'll show you later. Welchell's Guard Dragon. Very unusual choice, again, for the fusion decking. I'm going to be saying that a lot because I'm using some tech cards that you'll find very unusual, but throughout testing, I feel that it gives it a little bit more utility, so the deck's more unpredictable. It's a given what it does. You special summon a Blue Eyes or Dragon Spirit from your graveyard to Link's monster zone to link arrow points to. Pretty good utility, and it helps with the background removal. And then now we're going to the smaller dragons, or we already did, but another small dragon, Starleech Surfer. This is good to search out your Levianeer or your alternate white dragon. You could search for any of your Blue Eyes, basically, and you could even return it to your hand after you use the effect. So, Surfer is a really good card. Also, if this is in your graveyard, it also works as a Whitestone of Ancients. Only you can return any dark or light dragon in your graveyard. So, if you have Levianeer in your graveyard, that's no problem. You could just banish this one from your graveyard and return it to your hand. People forget about that. Now, anyways, to continue the level 4 dragons, we run another unusual tech. Supreme King Dragon Darkworm. A lot of people like running King of the Swamp to search for your Blue Eyes White Dragon, but for this fusion variant, I run into awkward situations where I'm like, defusion, LTK! Wait, I fused with King of the Swamp. Darn it. So, King of the Swamp is good to search for polymerization, but as for his fusion substitute, I don't really favor it. I rather run dragons, basically, to help fill the dragon engine, which I'll show more of later. Now, the reason why I'm running the Darkworm, and I mentioned about searching for polymerization, is because I run 1 copy of Supreme King Gate 0, 1 copy of Supreme King Gate Infinity. Now, Infinity don't worry about too much in terms of effect, because it only involves Supreme King Z arc. But the effects that you want to remember for these two is on the 0. So what 0 does basically in the Pendulum skill is that if you control the Supreme King Z arc, you take no damage. Sorry, that's the wrong effect. So anyways, if you control this one and the other zone, you destroy both of them, and not only can you search for polymerization, but you can search for a fusion spell card. So not only does it search for your super poly, your regular poly, but it also searches for your defusion. And if you draw both of these, is a blessing, because you could pendulum summon all of your monsters and you don't even have to worry about fusion summoning. You can for versatility, but normally I just run 1 of each because I don't want to run multiples of this, and I draw the same copies that I don't need when I just need these 2. Also, the Darkworms really search out your pieces, so this is, in my opinion, a good way of searching for your polymerizations. Not to mention, Blue Eyes already has a lot of draw power, to be honest, so you're not really too worried about getting polymerization. If not, then there's a special card that I run in here. I'll show you in a bit. Oh, in the extra deck, that is. Now for the Nun Dragons. We already covered that, but anyways, Master of Eyes of Blue. The cheesiest support card I've ever seen for Blue Eyes. Basically, what he does is that when he's in the graveyard, you shuffle this back to the deck, and you target 1 effect monster on the field, send that to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your graveyard, other than the Scent monster, which is not bad. He has an effect when he's normal summoned too. You return a light tuner from your graveyard to your hand. So you can return Sage, you can return Whitestone of Legend. It's a pretty good card. I like him. Also, if you bust out a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, you could use the effect to summon him if he goes to the graveyard. Anyways, Sage of Eyes of Blue, 2 copies. To bust out the Dragon Spirit, to bust out the Blue Eyes White Dragon, and sometimes throwing out a big dragon really scares a lot of opponents, especially Ultra Guys. Ultra Guys are honestly like mages, they're best in their abilities. non-beholder spellcasters, but not so good in melee range. So anyways, let's continue with the spells. 2 copies to trade in. It's a given. Then, 3 copies of Melody of Awakening Dragon. Amp up the Electric Guitar, because this allows you to search for Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, the Blue Eyes White Dragon, and even Levianir. Don't forget that, you can search for Levianir. Very good card. Also, if you have Whitestone of Legend, you have the potential to search for 3 Blue Eyes monsters. Very good card. Then, without further ado, I give you 2 copies. Just 2 copies of Polymerization. I feel that this deck is focused on fusion, but it's often predictable sometimes, and you never know if your opponent's going to play Dimensional Barrier. I know guys that play that, including myself. So, and also it's easy to draw into. I don't want to draw multiples of these, and I don't have materials, basically. And also it's very easy to search, and if I'm going to show you in the extra deck, you'll only want to run at least 1 or 2. I was recommended 1, but I like 2. Diffusion, because you can search for it, and you can use it via a monster in my extra deck. Dragon's Mirror, in case I had to fuse from the graveyard. Very good. And Return of the Dragon Lords for protection. Very good card. Silver's Cry. Also, Return of the Dragon Lords revives your dragon. That's a given. And this does the same thing. Revive a normal monster from your graveyard to your hand. Monster Reborn, very good card. It's a given what it does. 1 for 1. It's a given, because you have level 1s in here. You run Foolish Burial for the dragons. Same with Dragon Shrine and Dragon Ravine. Then 2 copies of Called by the Grave. And then, because hand traps, 1 copy of Ultimate Creature Destruction. This is at 41, so this is a pretty good card, especially if I'm going to show you for the extra deck. Oops, sorry. Oh, guys, I might have to do this in a 2-parter. You'd be okay with that? And I'll show you the extra deck too. But let's see how long we can stretch this out. So, let's continue with the extra deck. We run 1 copy of the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, believe it or not. I like him because, believe it or not, Sky Strikers are still running rampant, and this is a non-effect monster. They can't target us, and if you want to LTK them, you could do it like this. So they can't anchor you, and then you summon 3 more of your normal type Blue Eyes White Dragons if you fuse to those 3, which is possible. You could LTK Sky Strikers if you're careful enough. Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. Very good card. It's a given what this does. Can't be targeted, can't be destroyed. It's the ultimate alternative, no pun intended. Speaking of alternative, we run the Neo Blue Eyes White Dragon. Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. It's okay. I find this easy to stop, but if they really have no way of stopping this, then by all means, I'll do it. 1 copy of Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. It's can't be destroyed by battle. You could banish whatever it can't destroy by battle. And it attacks 2 monsters, which is really good. Speaking of monsters, we run Smaug. Just kidding. First, the dragons. He's unaffected by monster effects. Cannot be destroyed by battle except by a normal type monster. He's actually really good. There's many solutions to this, including attacking him with a Blue Eyes White Dragon, but there are moments where I run into decks that can't do anything about that, and I find that really cool. Titanic. It's a given what this does. Negate spell effects. Photon Lord, the opposite. Negate monster effects. Linkuriboh, level 1 versatility. Let's see if we could expand to 1 more minute. So we have 2 more minutes, guys. Now for the special card I want to show you guys. We run 1 copy of Anaconda, starring J-Lo and Ice Cube. I'm just kidding. So this basically substitutes for your polymerization and even diffusion, as long as you're okay with diffusing during the main phase. So yeah, this is a pretty good card. I like him, and it makes it where you don't have to heavily search for polymerization. You have access to it. That's why we run so many of the smaller dragons that are effect monsters. Hockey Fibrax, because it's a given. We have so many tuners in here, we might as well use it. And for the target of Hockey Fibrax for a second effect, I'll get to that soon. Dragunity Nyromolus. That one's a given. Search for Dragon Ravine. Heraldic Seal for bouncing, non-targeting bouncing. Now for the target for, what is it called? Hockey Fiber Axe. Shooting Riser Dragon, tuner. And he's a light dragon, so you could summon him with Blue Eye Spirit Dragon. How cool is that, right? But you want to summon him with Hockey Fiber Axe. He's good utility. He's just for like synchro summoning options and everything. And he's just a good target, yeah. Send dragons unique to the graveyard. Azure Eye Silver Dragon. Very good card. Makes your dragons non-targetable, indestructible. And last but not least, the Blue Eye Spirit Dragon. Very good card. Unfortunately, I don't think I get to show you the side deck, but I think you already know what it is. You already saw Mud Dragons, so I'm siding into Super Polymerization. Very good card. So, that's it for the video, guys. I hope I'm able to fix this, or fit this, so I'll tell you what. It's not it for the video. I'm gonna go and do a two-parter, so let's go and just continue, and I'll divide it properly. Okay, so the side deck, like I mentioned, we ran one copy of Mud Dragon, because Super Polymerization, so easy to search for, and you can even, I'm not sure if you can mimic the effect of Super Polymerization of Anaconda. I don't think you want to do that, though. You want to do it during the opponent's turn? Yeah. Your turn sometimes, but you'll want to search for this using Supreme King Gate Zero's effect. You can do that, actually. So we run Morphage Goliath. It's a target for Heraldic Seal when you tribute it for its effect. When it's just tributed in general. You want to lock out your opponent from the extra deck in case they make you go first. So when they make you go first, you sign into this, and you're like, sure, pal, I could go first. And you lock them out of the extra deck. That's funny. And if you want to get rid of it so you could go into your fusion, you could just summon the old-fashioned way, the Blue Eyes White Dragon, that nostalgia. Speaking of nostalgia, 2 copies of Effect Viewer. Of all the hand traps I run, this I find the most useful, and least in Blue Eyes. It's searchable, and it's overall still a good card. Then, just 1 copy of Super Polymerization, because you can search for it, and it's a really good card. I prefer it one because of the cost to discard a card from your hand. So that's just me. Dark Ruler no more. I only have 1 so far, but I feel 1 is all we need for now. It's for those troublesome negators that will try to stop your playset in your tracks. So not bad. 2 copies of Twin Twister. Until we get our copies of Lightning Storm. I just need 1, but I'm still going to run Twin Twisters anyways. For back row removal mostly. And monster removal if need be. Heavy Storm Duster for more back row, because no one likes Ultrageist. Or this deck doesn't like Ultrageist. Red Reboot, because Ultrageist. Darn it, that deck. And it's for LTK. You want to play this when you know for sure you're going to ulticate your opponent. That's what I learned. Goes in match. This is a very good card. I think Team Samurai X explained that. Shout out to him. Thank you for all your help with all your deck builds, sir. Okay, so good against Burning Abyss, and good against a lot of decks actually, because they have a lot of the same attribute, but a lot of the same type, monster type. Yeah, a lot of this same, a lot of different attributes. Sorry, I'm getting brain farts. Then to round things off, you run 1 copy of Imperial Order because Sky Strikers are still around. It's overall good card for generic road decks in case you go up against them, and at least you'll be prepared for that. Then, last but not least, Skill Drain. Because Skill Drain does absolutely nothing to the Blue Eyes deck, but it does absolutely everything to most decks. Because it negates their monster effects while on the field, and it doesn't stop most of your Blue Eyes cards. You just gotta side out of the correct cards, and this is a good turn 1 play, in case they make you go first. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoy. I'm gonna really try to fit this. It's only 20 minutes, but I'll see what I can do. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And you don't have to hit the notification button. It's up to you. And I'll see you all next time. Peace out.